Have you ever had this experience? You've learned English for years. You know grammar. You even passed your exams. Then, suddenly you travel to maybe London, Sydney, or even New York. And out of a sudden, you understand nothing. People seem to speak too fast. Words blend together. You feel lost, frustrated, or maybe even embarrassed. If that's you, you are not bad at English. You just need to fix a few things. One of them being training your ears. Welcome back to Serve Us All. Today we are talking about why English seems to sound so fast to some German learners. We will talk about some of the challenges and most importantly, how to fix them. Challenge number 1. Let's be candid. In school, you learned clear pronunciation, slow speech. Even your teacher spoke clean, clear, and slow English so that you could understand. That's not even how she speaks at home. That's not how she speaks at home. You learned nearly perfect grammar, textbook dialogues. And that's quite different. So when you go out there, what do you meet? Fast speech, reduced sounds, different slangs, and different types of accent. I remember in one of my groups, one of our participants took time to complain. What was he complaining all about? Because he met a native speaker, and this native speaker said, "Now I have to go because my bus will leave at 5 p.m. And he was really confused because he said, "No, but this is not what we learned." In school, he learned my bus leaves at 5 p.m. Okay, while we were still discussing about it, I turned and I realized that we had spent 11 minutes only on this. So my question to him was, "Did you understand her?" And he said yes, but he was confused, he was stuck, because for him it was a surprise to hear a native speaker say something like that. So what's even the difference? Sometimes they are just very, very minimal differences. But would you spend all your time on that? No. What am I trying to say here? That in school, you learn school English. But when you get out of school, what do you confront? Survival English. You meet survival English. And it's exactly like learning how to cook by reading a book on cookery. You need to put it into practice. And sometimes when you start cooking, you will notice that there are some things that will not work exactly the same way you learned while reading a book on cookery. Challenge number 2 is speed shock. English native speakers do not really speak too fast, or they don't speak as fast as you think. You are just not used to. Imagine you learned, "I'm going to meet him." Then it becomes, "I'm going to meet him." "I want to make a call" becomes, "I want to make a call." Germans expect clean, clear, separated words and structure. Yes, because that's how the German language is structured. But you know what? English is like a flow, and you just need to get used to it. And how do you get used to it? Train your ears. The third challenge is accents and dialects. English is spoken all over the world, in different continents and in different countries. So you see that English is being influenced by other languages that are being spoken in these countries. First of all, you have English. For some people, it's their mother tongue. For some, it's their second language. For others, it's an official language, meaning that they have other languages. So come to think of it, they have different accents, different dialects, different slangs, and you just need to keep your ears open. Do you understand the Americans when they speak? Do you understand British? Do you understand the Irish, Australians, Africans who speak English? Yeah, the Indians, they use different accents, different slangs, different dialects. Honestly, when I speak English with someone who comes from Bamenda like me, it sounds like a completely different language. You might be there and you will not understand anything. And that's exactly how it is. Different words, sometimes just for one thing, different phrases, different expressions. So most often people become confused. It feels really like a different language. I can really think of a good example. In an embarrassing situation, or maybe we are in a meeting and we are not satisfied with one thing or the other, someone will say, I can't wait for this meeting to come to an end so that I will go home. And I would say it differently. If I were with an African sister or brother from my hometown, I would say, let me come and be going. Let me come and be going. Which is just the same thing. And imagine someone who didn't learn something like that in school. There's nothing like that in school, So just remember that you are going to face different accents. Just prepare your mind for all of this and be open, be exposed. Challenge number 4, vocabulary versus reality. Maybe you learned a word and one name for that particular thing. Let me say so. Then out of a sudden, you hear another name. In English, you have many, many words just for one thing, for one item. So if you Google a word, maybe you ask for the synonym, you see that there are many, you have a list of words just for the same thing. Another thing is that for one thing, different native speakers use different words. Think of aubergine, which is a word that is very close to German. In German, you will say aubergine. In English, you say aubergine. Then you travel to America, it becomes eggplant. It becomes eggplant. Or you learned capsicum. Out of a sudden, it becomes bell pepper. Yeah, I think that should be very normal because even in German, you have many names for one thing. So do not be shocked. Do not be worried when you hear many words for one thing. Choose what you want, but get used to the other words. Challenge number 5 is psychological pressure. When you don't understand, what happens? You panic. Normally, language learning comes with lots of emotions. But when you don't understand, you panic. Then your brain freezes. Things get worse because from this moment, you do not understand anything. Remember in school, whenever there was a listening comprehension going on, the moment you miss out on the first 3-4 sentences, everything becomes blank. You don't understand anything else because you freeze, you panic. Panic really causes more problems than before. So relax. When you miss out on anything, just relax and keep listening. And this is because language is not just language learning. It's mindset. It is mindset. So now let's go to the good part. Let's talk about how to fix it. This is the good news. Grab a cup of tea, a pen, and a paper. These challenges are 100% fixable. And that's exactly what we are going to do now. The first way to fix your listening and understanding English is to train your ears daily. Train your ears daily. Listen to news if you like news. Watch YouTube videos. Just go to YouTube. Look for something that you really like. It could be a hobby, or it could just be anything you're very interested in. For example, I love watching videos on communication. I love watching videos on cooking. So you could take 1 week and just watch videos on one of your favorite topics, be it football or whatever. Try to listen. See if you understand anything. And guess. Sometimes you don't need to understand all the words. Sometimes just guess from the context. Guess these words and refer them later. Then, music. Listen to music in English. If you really like music, listen to music in English. You don't need to pay so much attention. You can listen to music passively. And the truth is that if music is playing at the background, you learn how to understand sentence structure, how sentences are being made. You get used to it. It's there. It plays in your mind, even while you're doing something else. So next time you hear someone use the same sentence, a sentence that maybe you had heard it in a music, it becomes easy for you. Then podcasts. Listen to podcasts from different native speakers. Native speakers from different continents. Another thing is watch movies. Oh my goodness. Watch movies. Movies with different accents. Watch Nigerian movies. They are wonderful. Watch them and get used to our African accent. Watch Hollywood movies. Watch Bollywood movies. Just get acquainted with English native speakers from different countries. Movies are always very interesting. So if you watch them, you become acquainted, you become used to understanding people speaking with different accents. Honestly, watch these movies. If you watch African movies once, twice, 3 times, you will never stop watching them. And before you know it, you understand our accent without any problems. So watch YouTube videos, watch movies, listen to podcasts, listen to music. Listen actively for 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's going to change something. Point 2 on how to understand English native speakers easily. Repeat and shadow. Just listen to a sentence. Pause. Repeat it. Repeat the pronunciation and the tone. When you repeat, when you shadow, it rewires your brain for real speech. It rewires your brain. Point number 3, learn connected speech patterns. Learn gonna for going to, wanna for want to, kinda for kind of. Learn them. When you know about them, you expect them so you don't feel too shocked when you hear them. You must not use them. For example, I don't use them. But if you use them, I understand you. And the essence is for you to be able to understand when native speakers speak. So learn them so that you're not surprised when you hear them. Then practice with real life content. Interviews, vlogs, real life content, street videos. Nowadays, you can watch a lot on TikTok. Go to TikTok. You'll see short videos, English videos, real life videos from people from different continents and different English speaking countries. We are so connected nowadays. So watch real life content. This will really help you be exposed to different native speakers. Point number 5, accept that you do not understand everything. No one understands everything. Even native speakers do not understand everything. You know, when people speak, when they communicate, they mostly use words which they use on daily basis, maybe depending on their job, their profession. So, if you do not understand anything, you have every right to ask. What you need to focus on, if you accept that you do not understand everything, you focus on the message. Focus on the message and not on all the words. Then, number 6, build listening confidence. If you do not understand, you are free to ask. Just be calm. Ask the speaker to repeat. If it's a movie, you have the right to pause. If it's an announcement, just turn around and ask someone else. Ask someone to help you. It's very normal to ask. I do that every day. I deal with a foreign language every day, so I ask. If I have the impression that you're speaking too fast, or that I haven't understood you, or because I want to avoid misunderstanding, I always ask. Ask. People are ready to explain things. Don't panic. You should be very proud of yourself for learning another language, because you already have a language and a culture. So learning a new language is getting into a new culture. And you should be proud of yourself. Just ask. Stay calm and ask. Okay. So now who is ready for a 7-day challenge? Are you ready for a 7-day challenge? Listening challenge. Let's go. So day 1 to 3, do 10 minutes listening and 5 minutes repeating. And day 4 to 5, watch a short video. Then write down what you hear. Finally, day 6 to 7, shadow a native speaker. Speak out loud daily. And after 7 days, you will already notice a difference. After 7 days, you see that you've built your confidence, both listening and speaking confidence. Try it out. And send me a DM, please. Let's talk about it. Above all, find a group where you can communicate with real people. Find a group. It could just be a conversation group where you meet at a coffee, or send me a DM. We have wonderful conversation courses. Send me a DM if you want to improve on your listening skills or your speaking skills. I'm right here. One of our courses is ongoing, but if you send me a DM, we will talk about it because the next course is starting soon.